Close your eyes for a second and imagine summer. If summer had a flavor, a texture, and a scent, it would very likely be this fruit. It has a skin that feels like velvet, a perfume that fills the entire room, and a juiciness that forces us to eat with a napkin in hand. Welcome to Fruits Around the World. Today, we are going to travel through centuries to bite into the sweet and velvety history of the peach. You might look at the peach and think of it as a delicate fruit made only for sophisticated desserts. But the truth is that it is an ancient survivor, loaded with symbolism and legends. And the first thing we need to correct is the name. The scientific name of the peach is Prunus persica, which led the whole world for centuries to believe that it came from Persia, modern-day Iran. The Romans called it the Persian apple, but that was a historical geography mistake. The true home of the peach is much further east. It was born in China over 4,000 years ago, and there it wasn't just food, it was magic. In Chinese mythology, the peach is the supreme symbol of immortality. Legend had it that in the garden of the Queen Mother of the West, there were sacred peach trees that bore fruit only every 3,000 years. Whoever ate one of these peaches would live forever. From China, it traveled along the Silk Road, crossed the mountains of Asia, arrived in Persia, where it got its famous name, and then conquered the Roman Empire in Europe. Today, it is grown in both hemispheres, allowing us to have this wonder available almost all year round, depending on where you live. But let's look inside it. The peach is part of a botanical family called stone fruits, or drupes. It is a cousin of the plum, the apricot, and the cherry. And if you've ever looked closely at a peach pit, you must have noticed how hard it is and full of deep grooves. Inside the stone, there is a seed. And here is a mind-blowing fact. This seed tastes very similar to an almond. This is no coincidence. The peach and the almond are very close relatives, so much so that in ancient recipes and liqueurs, the peach seed was used to give that nutty aroma. But be careful, the raw seed contains amygdalin, a substance that our body turns into cyanide. Of course, you would need to eat a huge amount of crushed seeds to get sick, but it's nature's way of saying, enjoy the flesh, but leave my baby alone. Now, we need to solve one of the biggest confusions in the supermarket, the nectarine. Many people go through their whole lives believing that the nectarine is a hybrid, a mix of peach and plum made in a lab. This is a myth. The nectarine is, biologically, 100% peach. The difference between them is just one gene, a single recessive gene. If the peach has this gene, it loses the fuzz, that velvety down on the skin, and becomes smooth. That's it. The flavor changes slightly. Nectarines tend to be a little bit more acidic and firm, but they are identical twin sisters, separated only by a genetic haircut. Sometimes on a normal peach tree, a branch may grow that bears nectarines in a fascinating natural accident. Speaking of variety, the world of peaches is divided into two main categories. And this defines your experience in the kitchen. There are freestone peaches and clingstone peaches. If you like to eat the fruit fresh, you probably prefer freestone, where the flesh separates easily from the seed. But if you eat canned peaches in syrup, it is almost certain that you are eating a clingstone variety. They are firmer and withstand the industrial process without falling apart into mush. There is also the war of colors. Yellow flesh versus white flesh. The yellow ones usually have that classic balance between sweet and tart, the traditional taste of summer. The white-fleshed ones, very popular in Asia, are almost purely sweet, with very little acidity and a delicate floral aroma. But the peach has an Achilles heel. It is temperamental. Have you ever bought a beautiful peach, red and golden, but when you bit into it, it was mealy, dry, feeling like wool? This is called wool evens. It happens when the peach is refrigerated at the wrong temperature during transport. If it stays in a zone that is too cold but not frozen, the enzymes that produce the juice stop working. The golden tip is, if you buy hard peaches,
Never put them in the refrigerator immediately. Leave them in the fruit bowl at room temperature until they soften and the perfume veers. Only after they're ripe can they go into the gold. This guarantees that you will have the juicy experience that history promises. In the kitchen, it is a chameleon. Of course, it shines in pies and jams and the famous peach melba. But have you ever tried grilled peaches? The heat of the fire caramelizes the natural sugars and creates a smoky flavor that pairs incredibly well with savory dishes, salads, or meats. It is a fruit that accepts the challenge of leaving dessert and going to the main course. The peach is proof that nature likes to fleece us. It's fragile, bruises easily, demands care and transport, but rewards on this hard work with one of the most complex and satisfying flavors in existence. And now the question that won't go away, and that divides families. I want to know which team are you on? Team Velvet, who loves the classic texture of peach skin, or Team Mealy, who prefers the crunchy practicality of the nectarine? And more, in your country, is the peach just a fruit, or is there any special tradition with it? Leave your answer in the comments. We read everything and love learning how the world eats. If you smell the sweet scent of s'mores through this video, don't forget to subscribe to Fruits Around the World. Every week we peel back a new story for you. See you next time.